Believe Nation, happy Friday. We're making it happen. Doing another IG Live. Here to answer your questions, try to bring some value, try to help. Friday is my CEO day, so it's just been non-stop work, getting ready for the book launch, helping some of my friends out. I haven't posted a lot to IG today. Nina reminded me, so I've got to post more content. But before that, we're here trying to help bring some value. Hello, welcome. Madalena, Lorraine, welcome aboard. Cafe Cola. The first people got their books. It's crazy. It's amazing. People are sharing. It's awesome to see it get into people's hands. So we've got a bunch of people already who've got it, who are taking pictures, who are posting it. And I know a bunch of you already ordered as well. So stay tuned. It's coming. But let's bring in some people. Try to bring some value. We see Paul in the chat. So let's bring in Paul. Pro Boomers. See what he's got. See how I can help. There he is.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great. Where are you from?
I am in the Ann Arbor area.
Okay.
So not too far from Via Rail outside of Windsor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You look like you got the sun on your face. I just imagine you're in California or something here.
No, I was in Florida last week on a workcation just to get out of the gloom, and I come back and it's sunny. So I'm grateful for that. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, a shout out to Sandra. She is amazing.
Okay.
She is amazing. So wanted to pass that along.
I'll let her know. Sandra's my assistant for anybody watching. So yeah, she's pretty special. I'm grateful to have a good team. So what do you got? How can I help, Paul?
Okay, so I launched a few months ago Pro Boomer. So there's a mega trend going on globally, and actually I have a lot of tribe members in Canada, so North America certainly, in which target audience is late 40s into their 50s and 60s, who either can't afford to retire and need to keep working or need to find something new or join the gig economy or whatever. But a lot of people who aren't retiring, this is the boomer generation that rewrote what it was to be of age when we were younger. And what people are realizing is that traditional retirement with this increased lifespan, increased health span, everything else, actually what's happening in a lot of cases are people are retiring, and after about a year of a retirement honeymoon, they get the retirement hangover of like, I'm not relevant anymore. I don't have any purpose. So the movement is to, first of all, raise significantly the awareness, if not the alarm bells, of what traditional retirement, the promises it doesn't offer, but also to offer all of these options of how you can stay relevant, keep working, entrepreneurialism, Kaufman Index, boomers lead millennials by a 2-to-1 margin in terms of the number of startups every year. Social entrepreneurialism is big. So
and they have a lot more success too.
That was my next point, exactly, because you've got the networks, the experience, and the money, sometimes, but not always.
Yep.
The challenge is I've seen that coming into this space, and in relative terms for just starting, I'm getting great traction, great tribe building and such, is that I see so many other people who've been doing this for so long, and so many books published, so many efforts, and just a little blip on the chart. It's a situation in talking with a number of people where people are aware of it, or people have the itch about it, or they start wondering about it, but they aren't paying attention to it either because they're too busy. I don't want to deal with it now. I'll worry about it when I reach retirement age. Fear, especially when it comes to money and things of that sort. And yet this is a really society-changing opportunity to not only affect these people, boomers and Gen Xers, in their lives, but the impact that they can have on the economy and on being a social entrepreneur and things of that sort. It's getting them to wake up and pay attention to it. We've been calling it crack the code. How do we start getting people's attention to be aware of these possibilities, and then provide tools and insights with which to leverage? One quick footnote. My whole adult life, I've been a content creator. So I was a former television news reporter, anchor, Paul on Productions. I created and produced every video imaginable for most of the car companies in the world and things of that sort. So actually doing content is my number one thing.
You got it. Yeah.
But how to exactly do it, how to push it, the backroom stuff is my big challenge.
And what's the revenue model? What are you selling? A membership, a coaching program?
Right now, I've ready, fired, aimed, and just gotten it going a few months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I started building it a couple of years ago, but my other business has been so good, it really restricted me. So I've only been aggressively posting, for instance, and right now I'm just using LinkedIn and Facebook, personal bandwidth. I'm bootstrapping this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm already starting to get good traction and such. The ultimate point will be not unlike your model, which I've looked at intensely. By the way, I've been watching your stuff. I do yoga every morning. I've been listening to your stuff for years. Thank you. Great job. Amazing job. I mean, you're one of my, hey, you know, reinvent is my
Oh, there
one
it
word.
is. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Great.
yeah. And I'm ordering your other book today. I love the offer you sent out today. Anyway,
Cool.
so it'll be that. It'll be tools such as how to find a job as a boomer, and then also taking other influencers and not unlike a Mind Valley business model, if you're familiar with that, and even influencers like, let's say, a Brendan, where potentially it's geared toward a boomer demographic, which the first infographic I did was on boomer buying power, which is off the freaking charts. It's jaw-dropping how much money and how much is being spent. So that's the monetization of it. And the personal branding angle of it as well on my end.
So there's lots of options there. What's the first model? Is it going to be a membership? Like that's the first thing you're going to start to sell? Is it coaching time with you? What's the first thing that you're going to start monetizing?
It won't be individual coaching, and I think the first thing, and especially given the current conditions of things, plus a couple of speaking gigs that I've had recently, is finding a job as a boomer. Right now, it's in formulation with a couple of other people, but it's going to be what you have to do in this modern day and age, period. Useful information for anyone, but also especially as a older hire, older talent, what you have to do to show that you're up to date and overcome ageism.
And is that, and ageism is its own huge thing.
Exactly.
Is that a course? Is that?
It would be coursework, and doing something similar to what you're doing with this, that included in the coursework would be both of, in the first place, building unity of a community, and then having the weekly or bi-weekly sessions with myself or a couple of other people I'm involving.
Cool. Okay, great. I love it. I think you got an awesome opportunity, hot market. You seem to have, the personality and experience for it as well. Now it's figuring out, not just trying to educate, because trying to educate alone is just insanely difficult. Instead of trying to get people to pay attention to this and say, hey, in 5 years, you're going to have to worry about this, your starting point is there's millions of people who are struggling with it right now and need your help. Forget about in 5 years when they might be coming up against this, right? So your most immediate audience is the people who are currently struggling with it right now. As much as I love the ideas, I want to change America. I want everybody to know about this, right? But this is the thin wedge in, so that you can start, one, making an impact, two, making money that then supports you to hire the team to then go off, and whether you're going to do advocacy work or you're going to write a bunch of books and just eventually spread the whole message. The immediate target market are the people who are actually struggling with it right now, not the ones who need to worry about it because it's coming up in a couple of years. And that's more than a big enough market for you to build an awesome business around and to make a meaningful change through.
By the way, that's exactly one of the people and I were talking about that right now, is that it's kind of like the better life and everything is the cherry. Oh, by the way, you do all that, you get all this. But you're right. I'm totally aligned with you that it's like, I love your expression, what's the wedge in?
Yeah, it's your thin wedge in, and you have to be around. You have to support it. You have to have a monetization model so you can keep doing this and hire a team. So it's not just a part-time on the side kind of community service thing, right? So we start by targeting people who are still want to be in a workplace, don't want to retire, and are trying to find a job and are struggling with skill sets, with ageism, with updating their resume that maybe they haven't had to do in 20 years.
Right.
And so whatever your modules are, and you probably know all of them already, you break that down and you turn into a course. I would find 10 people who are currently struggling with it and do a coaching session with them to help them through it that is free but is recorded, that they get access to you and your knowledge and everything you've done, but now it's going to be part of your program. And you also get to learn more specifically about all these people and how you can help and what their objections are and how to walk them through it. So I have a YouTube course, YouTube Growth Bootcamp, and inside there are a bunch of one-on-ones I did with YouTube creators from different industries. And I just did a channel breakdown and said, here's what's great and here's the 8 things you need to fix, which is free consulting for them, but it one teaches me of here's what people are really struggling with, and 2, there's content now inside the program so that other people can, it'll be really interesting and eye-opening for people to watch that conversation happen and say, holy cow, those 3 things apply to me too, right? So now you have content inside your membership program already.
That's brilliant. And how did that work out for you overall? I mean, I remember your email a few months ago putting a call out to people for that.
Yeah, we had more people than I had. I mean, if I wanted to do 50 channel reviews, I could have done that. We were just trying to get people from different industries, different backgrounds. So it's not just all, if I just wanted to do speakers, for example, there's lots of speakers who are interesting, but I wanted to have somebody who's got a retail business and somebody who's got, just to have some variety. So that worked out pretty well. And you just put it out to your network and find 10 people who, like people who are already following you, who engage with your content, anybody who liked one of your posts, say, hey, I'm launching this new course.
Love it.
If you want 20 minutes of my time for free to help you, and we'll make an inspiring piece of content that will also serve to help other people who are going through the same thing, let's get on a Zoom call and record something together. And most people say yes, some people don't want to, and that's okay, but you just need 5 to 10, and then now you have content inside the course, which is going to be really, like, just being a fly on the wall in a conversation is going to help a lot of people who are struggling with the exact same thing.
That's a brilliant idea. And it adds to the dynamic of it too, when, like you said, people can relate to those people and they're hearing their stories.
And as great as you are talking to the camera, which I believe you'll be great. Like, this should be a video series too with workbooks and stuff, but like, you're going to be so good just talking to the camera. As great as you are doing that, I think you'll be even better if you have somebody in front of you who you see struggling and suffering, and like, and then when they get your job is to get them to have the aha moment. So somebody's struggling with ageism and feels like, I'm now 55 years old and I still want to work for another 20 years and I don't know what I'm going to do. And they have all this self-doubt, and then they talk to you and you give them hope and belief and confidence, and you see their eyes open up. That's an amazing moment just for everybody, but it's also going to be really fulfilling for you to know that, like, I really helped this person, and anybody watching this is going to get a ton of value too. So I think having people in there that you're working with, it just intuitively to me feels like you're going to crush those, even though you'll be amazing just talking to the camera by yourself too. And also just give me momentum to feel like, man, this is working. Like, this is needed. I have all the data that shows that it's needed, but this is the heart that it's needed. Like, I can see it in this person's eyes that I changed their life and I had an impact. So once you get all that set up, then your fastest path to turn into a business, I would say, is Facebook ads. Targeting people in the demo. You said 40 to 60?
Yeah, late 40s to mid 60s. Just because I know everything is skewing so young now, that even people in their late, hell, you know, one of the hottest professions in Silicon Valley is our plastic surgeons, and their clients are men in their late 30s who are being viewed as irrelevant because of their age. So it's actually skewing that young. But let's just say 50s to early 60s.
Yeah, okay. I think because I turned 40 in May.
Congratulations.
Yeah, great, just coming. But I think somebody who's 46 versus somebody who's 64,
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
Or,
question is,
or 57, like 57, I think
right?
might be a golden age. Yeah, yeah.
So the beauty of Facebook is you could target different people with different interests and different age groups and different household incomes and all that, and make a custom message for them. So if you were to target people who are 50 to 60, and if you know certain industries, like 50 to 60 in sales, 50 to 60 in real estate, 50 to 60 in broadcasting, 50 to 60 in whatever, you can make a custom message,
Yeah.
a custom ad. And I think for you, it's video. I think you'll just crush it. I think you come across as, I mean, you have so much experience and it's authentic and comes across super well. Whereas normally when I give that advice, it could be hard because the people have an aversion to being in front of the camera, especially if it's the first time doing it. You've been doing it your whole professional life at least. So you make a custom video ad and I look at you, I say, this person understands what I'm going through. And then you tell me what I'm supposed to do next. So if it's the membership, then you take me to a landing page, and on that landing page is content about the membership. You can offer a free first month to get in, and it's every 2 weeks you're doing a 90-minute group coaching call, and then some of the calls are saved, and the archive of the 10 one-on-ones you did are saved, and people can go through and do it, and they get your advice and help and coaching to help them get to the next level in their life, because they still got a lot more to live.
So question for you, and something, so in creating over the years so much online content for the car makers and other major companies, I'm the content creator, and working with the digital agency, what I've learned is that, okay, I can create content, I can come up with ideas all day. Yeah. And I can come up with this idea that they're like, we love that idea, and I can do it 30 different ways. They'll give me all of the little particulars that are beyond, the scope of my knowledge, all the machinations to make the algorithms work or whatever. So short of hiring a digital agency, that's the thing that concerns me, that I can make. I've had it where it's like, oh, here was my original concept. That would have bombed, but with these tweaks that they gave me and ways to frame it, it clicked.
Yeah, and you can lose a ton of money on any advertising platform. Just like if you come from TV, you could blow tons of money on TV and never see a return on your investment. People can waste tons of money on Facebook ads and never get a return. So the targeting becomes really important. And you either, if you love getting into the weeds and the technicalities and everything.
I don't.
Right?
I don't.
So then you need to either partner with somebody who can do it, hire somebody who can do it, or what I think could actually be an interesting, unique case for you is mentor somebody to do it. Where you find somebody who has this skill set, who's probably going to be way younger, and they have this one thing up on you, but you've got 89 things up on them, right? And there's probably an insane amount of things that you could guide and mentor them in life, in business, in careers, in relationships, just from everything you've gone through. And also just the heart that you have and the caring and wanting to see people win. I think it could be a pretty mutually beneficial relationship.
No, a quid pro quo, I love it. And you reminded me of an entree that I have actually with a university nearby, where I've talked to a professor, and who's very good about real world experience for their people. And yeah, very good.
And are you thinking about the professor or the professor's students?
The students.
Yeah.
Where I can give them the real world thing, I can give them mentor, I can even introduce them to people. In turn, they handle some of the backroom stuff for me.
What does the professor teach?
It is basic. I won't remember exactly, but it's all about digital. So a lot of his people are doing, social from soup to nuts, content, SEO, which also I'm lousy at, and I have to fill that gap.
What do you think you could help them with the most? The students. What's your gut?
First, I'll say three things. One, how to actually create. You know, I mean, that blank sheet of paper and how to develop. I think another one is kind of the ways of the world and what makes. And I have mentored. I've worked with a lot of millennials, and I brought people in, you know, very young and everything. And it's like, you know, why will people want to hire you, either at being a client or an employer? You know, number one, do you have the skills and the value to deliver what I need? Number two, you know, are you affordable? And that's usually the two. But the third one is, am I comfortable with you and can I count on you? Which is a differentiator nowadays, quite frankly. Yep. I mean, not just based on age. And I know I've gotten good feedback on being beneficial of that. And then the third thing is just a multitude of machinations and such, that after doing this for 30 years and then 12 years in television, you know, it runs the gamut. It's somebody there. It's mentoring. It's mentoring.
So why I asked that question is that the idea that came to me was, I would see if I could go in and be a guest lecturer for one class.
Oh, yeah.
And go speak and just share whatever you think is of most value to somebody who's in digital marketing right now, that you have perspective on that they don't, just from the experience that you've gone through. They might know how to push the buttons and do all the clicks, but they're missing they don't know how to tell a story, right? Which you can do. And then at the end, you talk about, I'm also doing this, and I'm looking for somebody to work with, to partner with, to mentor on this. If you can guide me,
that's brilliant,
right? Yep. And the benefit of that is that I think you'll get some of the class who loves what you're doing, and some of the class will tune out and they'll be on their phones and doing something else, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. But then you'll get 2 to 3 people who come up afterwards to say, like, most people just rush off to their next class and whatever. But you'll get a couple people who are like, that was really helpful. That really inspired me. And like, that's the person that you want to work with, right? The person has the skill sets, but also like appreciates you and wants to listen and wants the mentorship and is humble and eager to learn. And you can get all of that just in one session of going in and doing a guest lecture and that quick little ask at the end. And I think that's just a faster process than posting a job and then interviews and all that stuff.
Hey, one more quick thing. I want to value your time. I see we're almost out of time here.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that you know, and one thing that Vishnu Lakhani, and I think you do well also, is you know, where you're posting legitimate, useful content. But obviously, it's not the whole thing. But post. What are your thoughts about whether it's an interview that I have with somebody, or whether it's one, let's say with this job thing, it's one aspect of it, and fully legitimately offering something where maybe that's all I needed, but also the prospect of somebody saying, "That's brilliant, I need more." What do you think about that as a device? Approach.
I love the organic route. I'm the organic guy. I mean, that's what I've done.
Yes, you are.
With on my channels, right? I mean, I didn't spend advertising to grow my YouTube or my Instagram, or it's all organic. I love organic. Organic is the long play. So it's definitely smart. It's definitely where you need to be heading. I just want to get money in your pockets ASAP and an impact like right away, so that it doesn't have to take up so much time, which the Facebook ad strategy will get you there just a lot faster. From organic content, what I would say is a couple things. One, thought leadership pieces where you're speaking to the camera and telling me how to X, Y, Z, like stuff that you already know inside out. And you know, I don't need to coach you on how to be a communicator. You're gonna get up and crush that. But you talking to camera and video heavy first, and you can use services like Rev.com where they transcribe your videos for $1 per minute.
Oh yeah, I'm by the way, I'm using a subtitle.
Great. So but you can turn it into written content that can go to LinkedIn and other platforms. But video first, because you're so great on camera. So talking to the camera, saying your thought leadership content. 2 would be anytime you're seen as an expert in terms of like your guest lecture. Maybe it can be filmed ideally, right? And then you have this content of you speaking. Here's this. Oh, he's not just talking to me from his home in Massachusetts. You know, he's a guest lecturer. Even if it's only one time and it was because of your friend, the professor, it doesn't matter. You spoke at a university. It's already going to put you, you know, ahead of the game for a lot of people. And any other interviews or podcasts or shows that you're a part of, sharing that content so that it's one thing just to be in front of the camera talking, but to have somebody else kind of validate that is great. And then the third piece I would say would be the coaching. Like, I think you would just excel so much at the coaching. And if it's, I know you said you didn't want to be a coach in terms of a business model, that you're not trading your time for money.
Right.
But you're trading your time for content, which creates leverage. So the only coaching would be once a week, you do a 25-minute call with somebody in your paid group to say, hey, as a bonus, let's do a call. And I'm going to put that up on my content channels to help inspire other people who are just like you. And again, some people will be willing to do it. Others don't want any attention awareness. That's fine. You'll get enough people who will do it. But the beauty of that is you just show up. Like, when you're making a thought leadership piece and you're telling me the 3 ways to overcome ageism, in my 50s, you have to think about what those 3 pieces are, and you got to get all set up, which again, you'll do faster than most, but still requires some time to think about. When you're coaching, you just show up. Like when we did that, I don't know what we're going to talk about, and here we are, and it's a coaching call, right?
And it's been brilliant.
And it's been brilliant. And
what do I owe you? Oh,
yeah,
$49 a month. Yeah.
Right? But it's fun. It shows off your expertise, and it's relatively easy to do. And so those 3, the thought leadership pieces you could do regularly. It just takes your time and setting up the phone and a microphone and press record. The interviews you should be able to do pretty consistently, right? Of coaching. The other stuff may be here or there, like you're not speaking every week at another university, and you may not be on an interview or somebody else's podcast or something every week. So you're in the 2+ pieces of content getting out there. I wouldn't let that get in the way though of me making my course and getting the Facebook ads going and getting paid people into my group. So I have a business model that then justifies me hiring somebody on my team. And right. Just when you have more resources, you can do more things. And so I love the organic play. Long term, that's actually going to get you more than the ads.
I agree. Yeah. But cut to it. Yes.
Yeah. You got to be like, that might be a 3-year play, and you got to still be around in 3 years. Right. And crushing it, because you're doing it with the paid ad side. So, yeah.
Outstanding. And by the way, I concur with the video blogs. That's what I get the most response and engagement with. I have had a couple of guest interviews where I've been at it, and I've been pushing those. That gets good response. I've got some speaking gigs that I've done, not great recordings, but good enough. I've had to learn that in this business, good enough versus, what I'm used to producing. So
yeah,
this is brilliant. I'm really excited about taking the course with you.
Cool.
And already I've made it, I've got a year's worth of money worth out of you. So thank you so much. This is great.
Awesome.
This is great.
It was cool learning about what you're doing, and looking forward to seeing your progress as we go.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Evan.
Man. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.